I don't think there's much of an argument to be made that 2019 was a bad year for pop music. Sure, there's bad parts, there always are, and radio as a medium hasn't declared bankruptcy yet, they never do, but there's a lot to be happy about from this year. A lot of female rappers had hits, the rise of a monogenre sometimes let unique combinations of genre gain traction, which occasionally meant that added homogeneity paradoxically added diversity to the sound of the charts. And Billie Eilish had a bunch of hits in a style distinctly hers that's outside what focus group pandering would produce. So let's hope that the rest of 2020 continues with the good parts of this year, dumps the bad parts, and features radio's inevitable ritualistic suicide. Cheers! On one hand, I'm happy that mediocre female rappers can rap about sex and curse a lot over a limp beat and achieve the same level of success as mediocre male rappers who do the same. But on the other hand, it would be nice to have good rappers with strong beats charting instead. Pop trap songs have to rock a dichotomy of playing into more haunting elements of a genre while still being playable in clubs. While this song may sacrifice a bit of the latter for more of the former, it gives the song a strong, creepy atmosphere that's still not impossible to get down to. The boogie's flows are what really sells the song, as they seamlessly switch from one to the other to carry tension in the verses and create a strong hook as a chorus. A boogie's inflection is painful and haunted too, as best shown in the scatting after the chorus, which happens to be my favorite part of the song. Most of us remember 2013 and Blurred Lines, so I'm not going to talk too much about why writing a song about unironically coercing a woman into sex is a bad idea, and instead I'm going to ask that if you plan to write such a song, can you at least sell it? The lyrics say that he's being overpowered by lustful urges and desires that he can't control, but nothing sounds more controlled than repeating 4 bars of cod reggae and singing in a weak falsetto. It's hard to claim you're committing a crime of passion when you're clearly not passionate about it. A good point of contrast is Sex Type Thing by Stone Temple Pilots, which, while ironic, still does a much better job of sounding wild and out of control than this Jonas Brothers crap. While most of Eilish's songs have a haunting quality to them, this is one of the only where I would call it positive haunts. The spirit of someone you love transformed into a fate presence watching over you and keeping you sane. The piano creates a pensive and somber atmosphere, the percussion is steady and moves you forward, and Billie's vocals navigate the space between all the conflicting emotions until the harmonies come in to create beauty from the sadness. What do I say about this song? Every Marshmello song sounds exactly the same, to the point where I'd be more surprised if he didn't copy and paste his drops than if he did. I guess country, pop, alternative rock, and metalcore are just the same thing to him. Even his own drum samples seem to be tired of Marshmello drops considering how loud they are in this song. Remember when EDM kept getting new drop styles every few months and then 1 or 2 of them would break into the charts? So many of the EDM hits over the course of a year would showcase different parts of the scene. I'm not saying that Marshmello is a reason that this trend has died off, but I am saying that he's keeping it dead. Every so often, a song that blends strong pop sensibilities and hooks mixes with a decent amount of complexity that makes it appeal to a wide variety of music lovers. Earthquake features some impressive piano playing and creative synth warbling, but play with the strange vocal deliveries to create something that is entirely its own thing. And for that, it deserves a lot of respect, even if it didn't become a top 40 hit. If Ed Sheeran's electronic music were a painting, it would be white paint covering a blank canvas. He's approaching electronic music from the same perspective as one writes acoustic songs, but where acoustic instruments have an inherent beauty that leaves little necessity for creative sound palettes, I would argue that finding new sounds and textures is the most important part of electronic music. His skill set is not suited to writing electronic music. Every song he releases is another flavorless rice cake. Now about I Don't Care specifically, I do have a few questions. 1, what type of party does Ed Sheeran not fit into? Not only is he rich and famous, he's also a dork. He could crash dork parties and have a great time playing Dungeons & Dragons. 2, what does Bieber add to this song? And 3, if neither of them fit in at this party and are complaining to each other about it, hasn't the party just gotten a lot better because they have someone else to fit in with? Why don't they just leave the party and go get a pizza or something? However, when it comes down to it, this is still a much better song than Shape of You. A crossover no one was expecting, but somehow makes perfect sense. Ozzy's unique voice and sense of melancholy fit right in with the current trends in pop music. including Post Malone style. The rock edge makes the song stand out more, and when it's added to a decent hook, it makes the most contemplative song in the year. And of course, I do like guitar solos, so any good guitar solo gives the song a ton of bonus points as far as me making these lists go. Baby is a completely average rapper. He's got some decent flows, but he doesn't really stand out to me in a good or a bad way. As a result, DaBaby's songs live and die by the quality of the beats, and Suge's beat sounds like trampled mud. It's just hi-hats with a garbled bass line, in a style that I'm dubbing butt hop because it has very similar problems to the muddy post-grunge people call butt rock. The worst part of the song is that the beat wasn't made by the butt hop pioneer Mike Will Made It, which means that his influence is spreading, and that, my friends, is a lot of pee-pee poo-poo. This song is just a shot of charisma straight to the face. All 8 notes of his song have an angry energy to them, which is a great undertone to the more complex emotions Lizzo expresses with her voice, and also contrasts nicely with the triumphant strings. I love the lyrics of this song. I mean, the opening line of the song rightfully became a meme, and the whole chorus is quite frankly iconic. I've been pretty upfront with how burnt out I am on 2010's alternative indie pop music. Dance Monkey doesn't quite have the stale and phonic mold that Youngblood had, but more of a pseudo-EDM style with a section that's halfway between a drop and a chorus. There are really only 2 things that stand out about this song, the first being the drop bass line that's actually really good, and of course the vocals. Tones' voice is what makes or breaks the song for people, as you'll either find them endearing and unique, or like your tone-deaf little sister's rendition of your favorite song. I think you can guess which category of people I fall into. This song has a lot of great elements somewhat haphazardly arranged into a piece of music. A frantic piano that opens into frantic horns, unless you're on Spotify. The catchy hook, Lil Uzi's other catchy flows, memorable lyrics, the tag of I'm working on dying, the drum fills. They're all great, but for whatever reason I'm always expecting more of them are put together. Not to the point where I don't love this song. In fact, I would consider it my second favorite Lil Uzi song. But to the point where this really can't compete with my top 4 songs from this year. You know those rapper stereotypes made by people who hate rap and don't consider it real music? If they don't have musical talents and they can only rap about how great they are and having sex with girls, not even in a creative manner, or how they all sound the same and they aren't even trying, or how their beats are too repetitive and they don't stand out from each other. Because it turns out those people were right about Blueface. When I first heard this song, I didn't love it, but I knew that it was making my year-end list just on the basis of being a country trap hybrid that doesn't suck, a feat that no other song has accomplished before or since. After that, I realized that this song is incredible. First off, the 9 Inch Nails sample is really good, well, duh, it's 9 Inch Nails, and surprisingly works well as a country song despite the original being an ambient piece. Second, Lil Nas X wrote a killer hook, and his booming bass voice helps his verse stand apart. And finally, Billy Ray Cyrus adds a lot to this song. He brings a lot of swagger to this track that helps liven the song up and make it fun, and is already pretty fun to begin with. This is just a full year of unexpected collaborations. It's deeply sad that a song about wanting to not fit in with a stuffy high-class society and keeping true to oneself sounds as painfully inoffensive, like it could fit in anywhere in polite society without anyone noticing. It's boring and flavorless to the point of being insufferable. Ed Sheeran and Khalid's voices fit in so much, I can't tell who's singing which part. It's too late, Ed. You've been boring for years. It's easy to compare artists to other artists, and I've done it myself, but Bad Guy doesn't feel like a song anyone else could have made. The song completely nails the scary teenager aesthetic Eilish has going for her. The snaps and Eilish's signature harmonies make it sound like a gang of blue-haired teenagers is sulking towards you, ready to pounce. The bassline is phenomenal, and it should go down as one of the all-time greats like Under Pressure, Feel Good Inc., or Roundabouts. The treble synths that pop in the chorus make it feel like she's just rubbing everything in. The coda feels like Eilish bragging after committing a murder, and mimics the stinger found at the end of horror movies. And of course the line, I don't see what she sees, but maybe that's because I'm wearing your cologne, hits me in a way that I can't really describe every time. Anyone who says Vocoder should have been cut is just wrong. This might be the laziest non-hip-hop song to hit the top 40 all decade. Everything about the song screams, "I've been playing piano for 2 months and I decided to try writing a song. Please be kind, don't flame." First off, it's the pop song chords. 1, 5, 4, and 6, played in the standard notes 1, 3, and 5. Second off, the left hand plays the root of a chord and nothing else, while the other hand alternates between the other 2 notes of a chord. And for the chorus, the left hand plays octaves to add a little more power, and by the end, he's playing whole notes with his right hand. This is all super basic piano playing technique that you're going to see in a ton of songs if you just learn how to play random stuff on piano over the course of like 2 weeks. To be fair, the bridge does use a 2 chord, which must have exhausted his creative limits. He won't want to get too experimental on us, now would we? Okay, so you might be thinking that it's basic to get right to the roots of his emotion and his talented wordsmithing, but that doesn't exist. Every line of a song is a cliche. Any high school teacher would cross out every line and ask Capaldi to try writing his emotions in his own words. And if this song wasn't bad enough, Capaldi can't sing either, or at the very least, the studio version isn't in his range. His throaty singing is completely dreadful, and it's the cherry on top that takes a song from absolutely worthless to actively torture. There are a ton of breakup songs out there, but all of the ones I can think of are reactions. They broke up with me in the past, and this is how I feel now. The song is the only one I can think of that feels like it's happening while the breakup is occurring. The song uses silence to convey just as much, if not more emotion from the vocals and the instruments, because it hits into the shock of an unexpected breakup. This is a song that speaks for itself and how good it is, and teenagers are going to be crying into their pillows to this song for years to come. There's no torture left. How do you give insight to a song when everything that makes it terrible is so brazenly surface level that doing anything but listing these problems feels like you're missing the point? Earth isn't bad because of trend chasing or poorly thought out themes or what it represents metatextually as part of the music industry at large. Earth sucks for a dozen reasons that were readily apparent to anybody the moment they first listened to it. The jokes are awful, the pacing goes from jokes to not jokes. Lil Dicky is the worst singer in the track, yet he still sings the chorus. The chorus is soulless and sounds awful, the beat is soulless and sounds awful. Lil Dicky couldn't write a verse that doesn't sound like bad improv. Lil Dicky felt the need to forgive a country for a war that happened 80 years ago, before most of the people currently running the country were born. Idolizing Leonardo DiCaprio more than anyone who actually studies the climate, featuring Maroon 5, and most importantly, expecting us to sit through this for 7 cursed minutes. This song is a collection of good puzzle pieces, the whistling, bass, and futuristic synth lines that combine to form an amazingly catchy beat that you couldn't get from any one piece. And whoo boy, Lil Nas X manages to milk the beat for everything it's worth. His flows are impeccable and it has a great hook. This song might be the peak of trap. Honestly, I recommend the DaBaby remix, even though he only adds length. The song is really short as it is, and he doesn't take anything away from it, so the way I see it, he's fixing the biggest problem.